I'm getting a background, so let me mute everyone. And if you have questions, please come off mute and then ask questions. Okay. So at this point, if you see there is no demand, there is no requirement, there is no forecast for this particular material. So we are at this point. Let me go back to my slide, this one. So we are at this point, we would create some demand plan, forecast, and customer. I won't create a customer order as of now, but I would enter some safety stock which triggers this demand, which acts as a demand in the current period, and then I'll enter the forecast. Okay. Before that, I'll quickly show the BOM structure one more time. So this is my act plant material, which I'm getting consumed. So I'll jump to this material, 203. And show you the material master changes, what we have done. And this is in the customer plant changes what I'm referring to. So 5201, this material would have, in MRP2, would have the special procurement key as ZT. Okay, and then we would have a production store location 2000 and external procurement store location as EP. Again, this is a request from Hector which we have considered. Otherwise, we can actually consume it directly from 2000. So if we receive it in 1000, I can get it from 1000. But Hector wanted a staging wherein we would receive it in one store location to a floor with a special transaction done by the logistic guy 5201. That is from a store location to a shop floor location. So we are consuming it from the shop floor location 2000. So we would move material, we would receive it in 1000 and move it to 2000 as a step, and then consume it from 2000. So this gives better accountability on the act side. So they would need to know.
Mr. Mann,
Yep.
I have a question.
Yep.
Why did you choose 2000 as opposed to 2005?
2000 is a shop floor location. 2005, what I've seen is 2005 is not MRP relevant.
That's correct. That's where we transfer everything that is on WIP. From 2000 is the main warehouse, and then we move to 2005, and that's where the backflash takes place.
Okay. Are you okay with moving it to a non-MRP relevant area wherein MRP doesn't see that particular stock?
Yeah, me too, but
yes, go ahead.
I'm confused as Jesus because how the backflash will happen from the warehouse. Then we will create another issue in the warehouse because then the material in the warehouse will have discrepancies.
So right now,
no, that happened here is a confusion. That happened is the factory is using 2000 for warehouse, and here Mitun has configured 2000 for production floor.
Okay, so I'll take a note here. I'll extend these materials to 2005 as well. No issues for that. So we can extend it to 2005. So what would happen is you would have to move from 1000 to 2005 whenever you want to consume. So, but the only point I would like to make here is as soon as you move to 2005, MRP won't see that stock. It's not MRP. So MRP, if there is a requirement, if there is an open order, then it would start planning more because it doesn't see the stock which goes to 2005. Is that acceptable by the business?
Yes, in our case it is. Also, the other location should be 2000. That's where we would make the receipts.
Right.
So you would receive it in 2000 and then you move it to 2005. Is that your process today?
Correct. Yes.
So you don't receive it in 1000?
We do, but that's related to our cross dock in El Paso, and since we're going to be receiving in the plant, it should be 2000.
Yeah, between sometimes we need to expedite some loads and it has to be received on the El Paso warehouse.
Okay.
So the 1000 location has to be there available as well.
Yeah, probably to avoid any confusion, Mitun, it's better to use 2000 and 2005.
Okay, no problem. So another thing I would like to mention is these ACT plants won't have El Paso warehouse location.
Right, we understand that, but here I think we're concerned with 5201, right?
Yes. Okay, to be consistent, okay, I got it. I got the, so you want me to receive it in 2000 and then move it to 2005. Anyways, this particular material won't have external procurement receipt, so we can keep this blank. We would be always having this, but I can make it 2000 and 2005. That's not a problem. So I have taken a note. I'll make those changes, and this would be our master data setup. Okay. So in this example, I'll keep it 1000 as of now. So and then 2000, but we'll make the changes, and I'll make the changes for the training as well in the next training what we want to do. So the key point what I would like to mention here is the procurement type. So here, if you see in 5201, the procurement type, even though it is a buy item from Act, okay, you still have to mark it as E and then ZD as the special procurement key. What this ZD will do is it will directly consume the material from 5417 automatically. So we have seen this in the past. We have talked about it, talked about the special feature about the special procurement key, but we'll see it how it works today. Okay. So this is the setup on the material master side. So now coming to the routing setup, which we would like to do. So I'll directly jump to this level, okay, where we are consuming these materials, these two materials. So if you see, these are same materials. Okay. So SMT is the material where we are consuming 203663 and 320093-301. So in this routing, if you see, I have added two new operations. These have to be added just to account the transfer price. So if you recollect, the transfer price is coming from the activity type. So when we do the backflush, the material cost will come as is, as the standard cost, but the transfer price or the markup is coming through the activity type and the routing. So this is required. This change in the routing is required by the engineering on the 5201 side. And this number per 1000 is supplied by Act. So this is their markup per chip. So in this case, there are two chips which we are consuming, and in this scenario, both markups are same, but they can be different. It can be, one can be $22 or second can be just $48 per piece. So in this scenario, for these two items, the markup is same, and I referred the Excel file which was shared by Kathy. So I've tried to make it as real as today. Okay. So this setup is required.
Let me make a comment, Mithun. So I see that Eric is on the call, and I just want to make a comment that this is BRQ and this routings have been modified for us. Okay.
Correct. Yeah. Correct. And these steps operations need to be added to the routings where we are consuming the chip. So for example, this is the routing, this is the level where we are consuming this chip and this chip. So I'm modifying the routing of this particular material and adding the transfer price. We are not adding the transfer price at this level. Any questions here? Understand the changes. First, we have created just one change which I missed here. I think I missed to create one. So this is the work center needs to be created in 5417 and used here in routing of 52001. So I'll quickly create a work center in 5417. So this is the work center for transfer price. And we have created standard value key specifically for transfer price. And it's not relevant for capacity or scheduling. It is purely for capturing the transfer price or the markup. I'll use this work center in the routing. So this is the big change which we are referring to in the routing. So engineering team should do these changes going forward, but for this particular load, we are doing it. We would be loading these operations to all the routings.
Missing, I have a question. Why do you show plan 5515?
Yes, that's one of the steps that we copied, but it's just a step that needs to be removed.
Correct, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's not being used here. Do you want to remove that?
For sure. Just I'll copy this. And then
Oh, no, Mitten.
yeah, I'm doing it. Just a minute. 201, and then delete these.
We need to, because it's referencing a reference task, so we need to eliminate that.
Correct. So what I did was I used the same number of hours labor which I required to calculate the overall product cost correctly. I am not using the reference operation set, but I'm using just the operation right now.
Okay.
I can use reference operation set, or I can use the same as long as the labor is correct. Okay. Just to make it simple, I just copied the. But yeah, that's a valid question, and we would be loading it correctly for 5201. At this point, this was all manually created, and we are still working on the template for the routing. By end of this week, we are planning to load the routing, so you would see all the routings relevant for 5201. Even though they are copied from 5515, they would be relevant to 5201. So I would like to ask a question. Are you using repetitive manufacturing and discrete both, or you are planning to use the same routing as is what what is in 5515?
I believe we're going to be using the same as 5515.
Okay. So it would be repetitive in that scenario. Okay, no problem. Yeah. So I need to do the costing of this material again because we have changed a few things in the, but that's fine. Costing part I'll touch, but this is the master data setup, what I was referring to. We need a work center which we are creating manually for 5417 and using it in 5201. And again, these operations would replicate, or we would create number of operations depending upon the chip we are consuming. So here we are consuming 2 different chips. So we have 2 different operations, and we are adding the transfer price here, which becomes my number of hours. Okay. And lastly, at this this level, we have the work center. So we have this work center. So we have to do an activity pricing for this work center. And the activity pricing is done by KP26, which is the finance T code. So here what I've done is for all the months, I've just defined it as $1 for 1 unit. Okay. So which means whatever we are adding it as the number of hours in the routing, that would be multiplied by $1 and that would become my transfer price. So to keep it easy, we have done this. So for activity level, we would be having all 1 for all the months. So any change in the price would be controlled at the routing level. So that's a business process which we need to define between ACT and MXOH. So whenever there is a price change or transfer price change, that needs to be communicated by the ACT people to the engineering team for all the relevant routings need to be updated. Okay, and that is an yearly activity, once in a year. If they are changing the price, if there is no change in the price, then there is no update to the routings. Okay. Any questions till now? If no, then I'll jump to the demand plan step. So master data setups, we've seen master data setup. Yeah, I forgot to show one more change in the material master. On the ACT side, same material, there is no change. If you see from the ACT side, it would be a simple buy item. So there is no special procurement key or nothing. From the ACT side, you would receive it in 5417 from an external party. Again, I need to change this to 2000 to be consistent with the 5201 plant. So everything we would receive it in 2000, and then the production store location would be 2005. Okay, so I'll change this at the master data level. So as far as the special procurement key and other setups are concerned, there is no change on the ACT side. It's a pure buy item for ACT. So I'll show you the PIR as well.
Mithun, I have a question. I saw that you have a good receipt processing time.
Yeah.
Is this how it's going to be for?
So it was copied from the original. Yeah, it was copied from the original material. So if it is there, it would be copied. If it is not, then we can ignore that.
How that will affect the 5201 if you leave that one there?
Correct. So it would increase the lead time. The material won't be available and for backflush even if you receive it in 1000 until 3 days. So actually it will just add it for the lead time calculation. But as far as the material availability is concerned, it would, if it is in the plant, it would see it is available and then it would backflush it automatically. So for lead time calculation, this would be used. So I would rely on the PIR data for the plant delivery time. But if, again, this is a plant decision, ACT needs to decide whether they want to add a GR processing time for all the materials. If there is no GR processing time, I can blank it out or I can add just 1 day.
What is the standard GR processing time? The realistic one.
If you receive it on the same day when physically it is available for the shop floor on the same day, then I would say GR processing time is 0. But if you take some time for inspection or something after you receive the material in the plant, then I would add 1 day or 2 days depending upon your lead time for the inspection. And I assume you don't have any inspection for these. These are all certified vendors and you don't do any incoming inspection.
I don't know. So, Teresa, how is that done on the goods receipt time?
If it arrives directly into the warehouse from Marl or Avnet, and there's no inspection, as Mithun said, then, I mean, it could stay there hours or no later than the shift. But if it has inspection, then we need to add some time in there. We have limited.
Yeah, it's basically coming from Arrow and Avnet directly, either from Reno warehouse in the US or from proximity store in the future.
So we might have an issue here because the ICs that belong to Fire may have an inspection process to them. The ones that are coming from CMO, they will not have any inspection. That's how it is set up.
Oh, so from external there will be inspection. Internal?
No. We have two businesses. Whatever is being transferred from CMO is one business, which does not require inspection as per the standards that are going to be transferred to MXOH. Whereas if it is Fire, we do have an inspection process for raw materials there.
Okay.
So in that sorry, go ahead.
It's better to set up the GR processing time 1 day, right?
Yeah, yeah, I agree. But at the same time, if there is an inspection, has there been a decision made who would do that inspection in 5417? I'm not sure whether Act has resources to do inspection, or it will be done by the.
It'd be done by the sites that cover that contract manufacturing.
Okay.
Services agreement.
Right. We'll touch base with the quality folks to make sure if it is going to be required to do inspection for those
Correct.
ICs.
Correct. At the same time, if it is set up as quality inspection in the current plant from where it is being moved to MX31, that would come as is. So the setups for the quality would come as is. So we just need to make sure we have an agreement of who would do the inspection and how they would do the inspection, because I need to make sure they have right access to that particular plant, the new plant 5418, which is with the MX31 address. Okay, so I'll take that note and then follow up with you, Jesus and Gary, how we are doing this, and we need to know the quality team details so that we can get them the access.
Nathan, I have one question. This is Ruth.
Yeah.
Why the lead time is different in plan 5201 and 5415?
So this is 5417 would have the lead time from your vendor, but as far as the lead time in 5201, there should not be any lead time because it's readily available. You're planning your external buy using the lead time in this particular field in 5417. So this would be used in the POs, which goes to your external vendor. But as far as 5201 and 5417, it's an auto backflush. So we would assume that there would be some stock available. There won't be any lead time. If you want that lead time to be added, then there would be a lead time between 5417 and 5201, and there would be a lead time from 5417 to the external party.
Okay, yeah, but because I noticed that in 5201, it's 50 days lead time for this item.
So actually it is 50 days. I copied the material from 5515, so when I extended, I changed it here. So I should have changed it in 5201 as 1 and 50 days here. Okay, so my mistake. So I'll change it 50 days here, and then I'll change the 5201 as 1 day. Make sense?
Yeah, makes sense. Thank you.
So what does that mean? It means that in total it's 551 day, or in total
No,
it's
50 days. It's 50 days.
So the one that is in 5201, that plant, doesn't count.
As long as the material is available, it will automatically backflush engine. So because of the auto backflush functionality, it won't see the lead time.
And the lead time of 5417 was set through PIR, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So this was about the master data setup. I'll quickly go to the MD04 screen and then start creating the demand. And it will try to complete the demand planning phase today. So this demand plan would be created by APO in 5201, similar to how they are doing it today. This is the finished good. So for now, I'm just entering that as in MD61 directly. So you see the forecast has been created, and then I'll add another demand type for this material as a safety stock. Maybe 200. So you see safety stock with the current date as today's date, and then the forecast what we have entered in the first working day of the month. And now I'll run MRP. So what I'm done at this point is we have created some demand plan, and second step I'm doing the MRP. right now the MRP is running, and it's creating. So if you see, it created plan orders for all the levels. It has multiple levels, so it has 6 different levels and all different materials within that particular multi-level BOM, and it created planned orders. Then it created purchase requisitions, and there were some old purchase requisitions which were deleted. So it created purchase requisition 71, and then dependent requirements were created. So now if you see MD04 screen, so we are more focusing only on the part which is act related, but the buyers in MXOH and buyers in MX31, they would be using their T codes to convert. If they are buying some raw materials which goes under this particular finish code, they would be creating purchase requisition and POs, but focusing only on the act part. So if you see 203663 in 5201, you would see nothing here because it has special procurement key which directs me to 5417. So if I use the 5417 for this now, you should be able to see the dependent requirements from this material. So this material 206070 AP is nothing but, I go to my BOM, is this one. This is my phantom, which is getting consumed under this particular material. So you would see dependent requirements with this particular material for this item. But if I see the other item, 301, you would see dependent requirement from the upper level SMT for this material. So what MRP has done is MRP has exploded the BOM and then started creating the dependent requirements for all the levels and planned orders for all the levels until this in 5417 as well. So you see purchase requisitions created in the opening period, whereas there are planned orders outside the opening period. So when it sees that I need to get a purchase requisition created within this window because it is within my lead time, it would create a purchase requisition. And beyond my lead time, when I have sufficient time for creating the purchase requisition, it would keep it in planned order status. So now the buyer in 5417 can go and run a mass T code for all the materials where we have purchase requisitions created by the system. They can convert those purchase requisition into PO. Okay, so they don't have to go one material at a time. There are mass T codes created for it. Avril, do you want to take the control and show this?
Sure, Mitten.
Sure, I give the control. So we still have 10 minutes, so hopefully we can complete the PO creation and PO receipt step. So that way, the only pending steps would be for next meeting would be production order confirmation, then finally validating the documents, financial documents.
Okay, so this is the material that we'll be buying from 5201, or is it the other one, the 20?
So there are two materials which we are buying from 5201 is buying from 5417, but right now what we are focusing is 5417 buying from external vendors. There are two materials. So
2067.9?
Yeah. So, but don't use the material, just run it at the plant level 5417 and show them how the mass transaction looks and how it shows all the purchase requisitions.
Oh, so this is not my favorite. Okay, hold on.
Again, why we are using my access, and because Avril doesn't have access to 5417 as of now, but we are getting her access so that she would be able to help on the ground when we go live.
Okay. Yeah, I'm sorry, because we're having some technical issues here. I'm in Teresa's office, and you guys will be hearing some background noise. So,
with CME 59N_cat. Yeah.
So in here, so because we don't know which purchase requisitions have been created, so we will only see that by the plant. So this is so for 5417, right?
Yes, and A300. So the buyer in 5417 would be running this transaction to convert the purchase requisition to PRs to POs. But again, we can automate this step as well. But
Can we automate this? And
yes, we can automate.
I have a question. Francisco, you're on the call, right? Francisco?
Yes, I'm here. Mm-hmm.
And I have a question. Why do you ask for not auto converting the PR to PO?
Well, no. My question was to not convert the requisitions to direct purchase orders.
Why?
Not the convert the requisitions to purchase orders is a T-code that you can massively convert any requirements to a PO. But in that, you need to review each one of those details, and once you use that T-code, automatically convert everything you need in firm orders. And normally, what we are doing is just to verify the information on each PO before convert the requisition to a purchase order, basically.
What kind of
because we are yes, the main reason is because we are in the transition of the SAP, and we want us to verify that all the settings are correctly done to avoid any complications. Once that we move forward and see that all the lead times, all the transactions and everything is correctly done, we can move forward and do the auto conversion PO option.
Yeah,
so the lead time is set up on the 5417. So what comes from the 5201 MXOH is only the requirement of the quantity.
Correct, but this is purchase equation in 5417 Indian. So
yes.
I agree with Francisco's approach. So when we go live, initially they want to do it manually for some time to get the confidence that the data is correct and everything is working seamless. And once they are confident, we can switch on the auto PO creation anytime.
Okay, so this so to switch on auto creation, I mean I understand the approach. What needs to be done to switch on auto? Who do we contact?
Do you want to take that question?
So usually you can raise a ticket where, if you guys have an MDM team, or just send a request to the help desk. You will have to add all the materials that you like to select with the auto create PO flag at the material master level, and then just raise the request. So mass update that.
Okay, so if we have any questions, April, can we contact you?
Sure.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so this transaction is what I'm showing is going to be the background, right? So this transaction you can run it, and it will push whatever requisitions that are awaiting for the batch, the auto PO batch to run, right? So that's why I enter the test run. Right, so now I'm going to execute, and the system will tell me which requisitions are awaiting to be converted. Click. Oh. So we have nothing awaiting to be
we have some PRs created right now, so.
Me too, or Abril, maybe the auto PO flag is not turning on the mature master.
Yeah, that's right. But can we list the purchase equations at least, all the purchase?
No, if it's not the flag there, it will not pick it up.
Okay. Yeah. So is there a T code to display all the purchase equations, Abril?
Yes.
So we can show purchase equation created by this MRP instead of going through one material at a time. So this would be the T code which you can see, right? All the purchase equation created for that particular.
You can use the IMI by A. Just too slow from my side, I'm not sure it's why.
Yeah.
Okay, so in here we don't want the health requisitions. We want everything that is assigned to a vendor. We don't want the partly order. We want everything that is released and overall releases, right? So
now I would be curious if what we can see is only the quantity we're gonna see, or it's quantity plus vendor plus all the detail.
Right, it's meant to be all the detail.
Why it's showing as no suitable purchase equation. Let me take over just a minute. Let me see in MD04. So this is my MD04 screen. I see purchase equation created here. So let me double click and see. You see vendor has not been assigned. So the source list is missing here. Even though we have PIRs created, I think we don't have the source list. Right, Deborah? That's why we don't have the vendors. So this is another master data issue, wherein we created the purchase equation of the PIRs for these materials, but the source list was not created. Let me see the other example.
At which level we create a source list? At 5417 or?
It has to be both.
It has to be 5417 and 5201. Correct?
Correct. Otherwise, the system will not assign the source of procurement. Right. The requisition is just there, but is waiting to pick which is the correct vendor.
And if there is any conflict between the source list between 5417 and 5201,
there won't be any conflict. So if you can have several PIRs or several vendors, but the system will pick whichever the source list is pointing to.
Yep. So
Sinjin, the source list should only be in your plant. It won't be in the SBU's plant, because the SBU is not buying the material; they're just pulling it from you. So
correct. That's correct. So this is the cheat code which tells me that these are my exceptions, wherein we are missing the source list. So I can run the ZRC_SL_exception, which tells me that these PIRs have been created for all these materials, but the source list is missing. So I need to run a mass update to get the source list done. So in our next meeting, we'll continue with this, because we are almost done with our time here for this meeting.
Yeah, Mitun, can someone please train? I mean, we have some possibility. I have one buyer who knows how to create a PIR, but our buyer in Mexico doesn't know how to create PIR for mass load, neither for the source.
Correct.
Can
So
let's train that.
Yes, exactly. That's what the next week's meeting, which April is going to lead. We are planning to cover all the important transactions from the sourcing side and the basic navigation as well on the sourcing side.
All right. Okay.
So please make sure we have all the buyers in that particular meeting. I've forwarded that to everyone, but it's mainly focused on the sourcing side of it.
Hold on, it's let me just check. So next week, the 2nd of May.
No, before that, next week. Let me see. April, when was it? Sorry. It's Wednesday, May 2nd. Sourcing
May 2nd.
training. Yes.
Sourcing training ACT.
Correct.
Okay, let me check who's involved.
Yeah, I have the meeting here, Sinjan, in my agenda.
Okay, and I want to also Ana Luisa to attend this as well. Just get some training for her as well. In one shot.
Okay. So just one thing which I would like to share. Next week I'm out, so any questions if you have, you can reach out to April, and April will try to connect with people who can get answers. And we have Puneet Kothari and Vaishali, who are our COEs on the manufacturing side. So if you need any help on the manufacturing side, you can drop a note to these guys. So they are here in the meeting, Puneet and Vaishali.
Puneet and yeah, hi all. Vaishali. Okay, hi.
Hello.
Okay.
Listen, the
Yes,
training material, the training material, is it like a standard operating sheet? So you get, pictures of, this is where you click on SAP to make this change, or is it a video, or?
So yeah, there is a site for learning or training for SAP, Gary. I can share that link with the team, and then there is a by function. You can click on all the basic navigation. There are videos, there are documents, Word documents with screenshots going through each screen, what needs to be entered, and all the details.
Okay. All right, great. Okay, thanks for that. And then I still think it'd be nice to have these calls.
Sure.
And determine who chairs these calls on the SAP side, because I'm sure there's going to be more questions.
Definitely. We'll continue these kind of calls every week. The next week I've cancelled it, but April is going to do the sourcing training on Wednesday. But following week, the May 7th week, I'm still continuing doing this same kind of training, and this would be our single stop for all the rail issues, all project plan issues, and at the same time testing and training.
Okay.
Right.
Okay, so if no further questions, I think we can close this call, and then we'll meet again